us this morning, and Stu and Randy. Stand and sing, knowing Spirit is in this house. We have come together as a family. We have come here as we are. We have come with hearts wide open. We have gathered here in love. Yeah, let's sing. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place, in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit, yeah. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We lost my way for a second there. It's live. Hello, live stream. Here we go. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm all life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Sing it. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Right here, right now. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Oh, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Yeah. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit right here. Oh, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Feel Spirit in this place. Oh, Spirit is in this place. Yeah.
Thank you, Laura and our band. Spirit is right here in this space. I can feel it. Welcome to all of you on this beautiful full moon, the snow moon today. And happy Imbolc if you are celebrating this sacred threshold from the Celtic tradition this morning, this perfect poised moment between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And it's the season that invites us into the stillness, into reflection, to gently tend what is forming within each one of us. And today we have a date with the infinite on the sacred mountain. And Reverend Jackie shared a quote with me recently from St. Augustine that I feel is especially relevant for our time together today. He wrote, "People travel to wonder at the height of mountains, at the huge waves of sea, at the long courses of rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars. And they pass by themselves often without wondering." And so our invitation for our time together this morning is to turn that wonder inward, to rise into awareness together and to carry that awareness into the soil of our everyday lives. And this morning, I am so excited to introduce our latest special focus minister, Reverend Dodie Jackson. Yay. Yes. We are so delighted. She is going to be offering our prayer this morning. And so I invite you right now to take a breath, to let your shoulders soften, and to arrive fully as you are as we move into a time of song and meditation.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
And so as we honor the stillness, the beautiful silence this morning, that feeling of serenity that happens in the early dawn, and also every single time we close our eyes and go inside. As we honor that, we know that Spirit is guiding our every move, our every thought, taking care of our every need. We know that Spirit is boundless, with boundless energy, boundless creativity, never ever stopping to create. And we are part of that. We are on a beautiful silver thread, all connected together as the doers in this world, the workers in this world, those who bring about what Spirit is wanting. And so this morning, I claim for each of us that we find that beautiful balance point that is mirrored right now this morning in this sacred time, halfway between the solstice and the equinox. That time of serenity, going inside. That time of standing at the foot of our own path and knowing that even though we don't know where we're going, the path keeps forming. As we walk, as we step, the path is forming. And so we find that balance between receiving the love of Spirit, the guidance of Spirit, the protection of Spirit, the all-encompassing beingness of Spirit, taking that in, and the balance of giving that out again in our own form, in our own way into the world. It comes forth unbidden. It's just there, available to each of us, coming, gushing forth, so that we can be the experience of love in the world, that we can give from our hearts, that we can allow our hearts to be cracked open in love and compassion for every being, every human, every creature, every being on the earth. Take that in. Just breathe it in and know it in your own heart. I'm so grateful for this moment of contemplation as we anticipate the first glimmerings of spring that will come upon us. This moment of knowing that Spirit always takes us where we need to go, and that we are equal to the climb somehow. We have that intuition inside us and strength, and I'm so grateful. And so it is with joy and with gratitude that I release this prayer now into that blessed law that makes it come into fruition in this moment, right here. I release it and I let it go. And so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. A love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. A love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Yes, it's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
This morning marks the beginning of our month honoring the Foundation February. And it is my honor to introduce this morning and to invite our executive director of our foundation, Mark Pino, and the president of our foundation, Jody Whitley. They are going to share with you some very exciting news, and there is so much to celebrate. So let's welcome them.
Thank you. As Zemirah said, I'm Jody Whitley, and I have the great privilege of serving as president of the Mile High Church Board of Directors of Mile High Church Foundation. It's good to be with you this morning, the first day of Foundation February, where all month we'll highlight the incredible work, the foundation and its mission, the ways that we are being of service to you, and ensure the long-term financial well-being of our church. The foundation, which marks its 43rd anniversary this year, is very grateful for the support of the Mile High Church Board of Trustees, the church leadership team, and all of you who have supported the foundation's growth for more than 4 decades. The endowment is professionally managed, it is thriving, and well-positioned for long-term growth. Thanks to the generous support of several hundred Nautilus Society members, both living and some of those who have made their transition, the fund now stands at over $4 million. And in 2025 alone, we distributed over $137,000 to the church from the endowment. Dedicated Mile Highers through bequests and contributions to the Giving While Living program make these distributions possible, which support a variety of important projects and programs that are directly connected to the Foundation's 4 pillars of giving. These are youth, education, outreach, and infrastructure. Each of these pillars are vital to the long-term well-being of our church. In 2022, the Foundation set an intention to grow the endowment to $20 million over a 10-year period. Now I'd like to ask the Foundation's Executive Director, Mark Pino, to share a few updates on our progress.
Thank you, Jody. My friends, it's so wonderful to be together in spiritual community and fellowship today. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to share a few of the Foundation's recent accomplishments. As you know, in January of 2022, Dr. Roger became the Foundation's volunteer chairman. Since then, we have increased membership in the Nautilus Society by over 39%, adding 98 new members. In addition, during this time, we have nearly doubled the size of the endowment. 2025 marked the single best fundraising year in the Foundation's history, and after accounting for distributions to the church and Foundation-related expenses, the endowment still grew by over $1.2 million in just 1 year. That was made possible through the generous contributions and strong returns in our investment portfolio. And in fact, in 2025, a $500,000 bequest was received from a beloved Mile Higher, which is among the largest legacy gifts the Foundation has ever received. Now, my friends, in addition to growing the endowment for Mile High Church, a cornerstone of the Foundation has always been to be of service to this congregation. We accomplished this by directly serving many Mile Highers, providing one-on-one advice and professional resources to help them with their own unique estate planning needs and information on tax-smart ways to give. Also, the Foundation's quarterly e-newsletter, Lasting Legacy, is in its 4th year of publication and continues to be well received. In addition, every year the Foundation sponsors several educational workshops and events. And in fact, on Sunday, February 22nd, we'll have financial and legal experts from the investment trust company on campus for a special event where they'll help you focus on today and be prepared for tomorrow on topics related to investing and estate planning. Now, the team at ITC serves as the manager of the church's endowment, and they're so thrilled to be coming on February 22nd. Finally, every Sunday in February, members of the Foundation Board will be available after services at the information table in the lobby to answer any questions you might have about the Foundation, the Nautilus Society, and the endowment. In closing, we're beyond grateful to all of you for all you do for Mile High Church and for the Foundation. Thank you.
Makes no difference today how you found your way through this forest of demons and dangers. All the roads that you've traveled, the ships that you've sailed in this circle, you're no longer a stranger. 'Cause we've arrived at this clearing from every direction. We were drawn by the sound of a drum. Fire in the darkness, a light on the road, and a voice simply said, come, please come. You are held in the hands of Spirit, lifted on strong arms of love, and your soul has a song. Can you hear it? It will help you rise up above. We'll continue this journey together. Through our hearts is the only way home. And there is no storm that we can't weather when we know that we're never alone. We've all got stories to tell of the times that we fell when we stumbled into traps and surprises. But just rest for a while, share this comfort and smile at Spirit in all its disguises. 'Cause we've arrived at this clearing from every direction. We were drawn by the sound of a drum. Fire in the darkness, a light on the road, and that voice simply said, come. Please come, 'cause you are held in the hands of Spirit, lifted on the strong arms of love. And this song has a song. Can you hear it? It will help you rise up above. Let's continue this journey together. Through our hearts is the only way home. There is no storm that we can't weather when we know that we're never alone. We're never alone. We're never alone.
Thank you, Mile High Band, everyone. Bijou, Mike, Stu, Randy, and Dr. Barry and Laura. Thank you, Dr. Barry, for being here. You know, your music is one of my go-tos to get me right into that communion with Spirit. So thank you for the gifts of your music. I'm going to invite Laura right down here with me because she is going to be bringing the vocalizations for our first interfaith community event coming this Friday. Thank you. This Friday, we're going to have a Tu B'Shvat Seder, and we're so glad.
Celebrating the trees.
Celebrating the trees. Tu B'Shvat. I think it starts today, right?
It starts this evening, and Tu B'Shvat, the Seder will also be on Shabbat, so it's going to be all Jewish all the time. But don't be afraid.
It's going to be so lovely. Rabbi Jamie Arnold is going to be giving the blessing that night and guiding us through the journey of the Seder, focused around the trees. And it's just so special that Laura is able to bring her music too. And there's going to be dessert. So we really hope that you will come out and join us for this Seder. It's at 5:30 this Friday. Please get your tickets ahead of time so that we know how much food to prepare. And we'll see you there Friday, 5:30, Community Center.
Yes,
Thank you. So this morning, we're going to be climbing the sacred mountain together. You know, a couple times in my life, I have attempted, and I will use the word attempted, to climb some holy mountains. One was right here in Colorado, one of the 14ers that's known as Mount of the Holy Cross. I do highly recommend doing a little bit of training before you attempt and set out on that. I got about halfway up and I was like, oh no. And then also, the same is true for the St. Patrick's Mountain in Ireland. I approached that mountain thinking, oh my gosh, it's only 3,000 feet total, and we're from Colorado. How hard can this be? There's also a reason that people climb that mountain for doing penance. So I will say on both of those occasions, I did realize that the trek up the mountain afforded me a change in my perspective. And that's what we are going to look at this morning. We have an appointment right here in this moment with the holy mountains. And we might even journey together to atop Moses' holy mountain. And just to let you know, the path is often long and it can be steep. And it may take a little bit longer than expected. But what's a few extra minutes when we're moving beyond time and space and we have a date with eternity to commune with the infinite? You know, the biblical book of Isaiah, we hear this invitation that says, come, let us go up the mountain of the Lord. And in Psalm 91, one of my absolute most precious, beloved scriptures, we're reminded, whoever dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. To dwell, to abide under the shadow in protection of the divine is to choose a place of communion, of intimacy, and perspective. And in the time and place where this was written, as Emmett Fox, who wrote about this scripture and taught about it, he said to be in the shadow of the desert was protection and safety from the elements, the intensity of the sun. And in the nomadic life of the desert, the shade meant to rest, to rest. So the secret place of the Most High is to rest in a consciousness of the divine, because the Most High refers to your own consciousness. And, you know, when we go into the sacred mountain, we're going to look at it as a meaning this morning that it invites us to both gain a greater, more divine perspective of life, but also it's to go into an inner summit as well, a place of communion where we can expand our consciousness through our spiritual practices of prayer, of meditation, of contemplation, or even a walk in nature, whatever it means to you to commune with the divine. You know, this symbology and the revering of the mountain as a holy place is found in nearly every faith tradition. this site where divine guidance and revelation and awakening can expand. In Tibet, we find Mount Kailash, which you'll see pictured there. To my knowledge, I don't think it's ever been completely ascended, but it is a place where pilgrimage happens around the base, and pilgrims gather there to circumambulate, to bring forth purification, and to feel the inner tranquility that can be experienced there. This holy place, a holy place of Hinduism, Buddhism, the Bon tradition, and Jainism. And then we find the idea of the sacred mountain in the Andes. You know, the nature, all of nature, as well as the mountain, is thought to be imbued with these beautiful nature spirits known as the Apus, that protect humanity, that protect the land, that protect the natural world. And this relationship in the Peruvian Quechuan tradition is to tend that relationship with the holy mountain, to receive its guidance, to receive its protection. In the Hebrew tradition, Moses has that date with eternity and experiences 2 encounters with God at the base of Mount Horeb. And it's literally, Mount Horeb is known as the mountain of God. It's there in that otherworldly beauty of the Sinai desert. And he hears the voice of God and receives guidance as to his purpose, receives the 10 Commandments. And in the Christian tradition, we witness that radiant moment of divine communion in the transfiguration of Jesus. He ascends the high mountain with Peter and James and John, and he enters this elevated state of awareness, becomes electrified with divine power, radiant and illuminated. And the apostles see the face of God within his face, in the illumination of his body. The word transfiguration comes to us from Latin transfigurare, to change shape. And that is what the sacred, holy mountain points to, the changing shape of our consciousness. It happens when we uplift our thoughts, when we see our bodies as vitalized in every cell, harmonized in every function, the centers of divine energy. It happens when we awaken to our divine nature, which emerges through our spiritual practice, and we're able to have those moments where we connect with deep, centered presence. In the transfiguration of Jesus, we learn about the interconnectedness of our human selves and our divine selves. There's this coming together of the two, because Jesus in his body is radiant with the illumination, the awareness of his divinity. And he shows that to Peter, James, and John. Mountains abound in Scripture. You know, some theologists have said that the entire biblical storyline possibly could be subtitled, "What Happens in Holy High Places?" You know, that's that idea that Jesus ascends and also descends. And so I ask, where in your life this morning are your thoughts, are your beliefs calling forth for a communion with the divine? And are there conditions that you'd like to bring into that holy awareness of the sacred mountain in your practice? How are you also called to bring it back to the soil level of your daily life, the mundane world, the everyday world? So as we climb the sacred mountain together this morning, we consider that it isn't a place that we visit once. We summit and we return to soil. We summit and we return to soil. It's a rhythm that we learn to live in our life. We're called to bring that sacred viewpoint, that consciousness of our awakening, that touch point of the divine into perspective, into our kitchens, into our drives to work, into the responsibilities every single day. So one of the ways that we harvest the fruits of our spiritual practice to live in living in this world is to begin to weave that daily time and space for communion every single day. So right now, we are going to place our feet solely on the path and get ready to hike together, to ground as we begin to move up the sacred mountain. And that's where we begin, with an inner summit. An inner summit is the call for that daily communion. We have to start somewhere on our hiking path. And, even those who literally live in a cave in the Himalayas begin again and again and again in devotion. If you were with me in some of the Buddhist interfaith classes that we've done, we've looked at the Buddhist nun Tenzin Palmo. She lived for 12 years above 13,000 feet in the Himalayas. And she was born in England in 1943 and the daughter of a fishmonger. And in 1973, she became a Buddhist nun and eventually felt called to trek to the Himalayas and make this cave her home. You can read about it in her beautiful, autobiography, a biography of her life, Cave in the Snow. But when we picture someone living in a cave for 12 years, we often immediately jump to, I wonder what the visions were. I wonder what the mystical fireworks were that she experienced there in her time of devotion. But what her life actually reveals, and the teachings that she often brought back, did not focus on the mystical fireworks. Rather, she focused on the importance of every single day, something much quieter, a space of devotion. Every single day, she had 4 different sessions of meditation. She would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and meditate for several hours, and then she would have her simple food. She would spread out these times of meditation with chopping wood and growing her own vegetables. She only had 1 visitor in all of those years, and that was her master teacher, who would come. And then after 9 years, he passed away. So for the last 3 years of her time up there, she was absolutely alone. And she talks about how in one time the entire cave got boxed in with ice, and she feared that this might be the end of her life. She went into meditation and she heard very clearly, begin to dig and dig fast and dig now. And she dug herself out of that. But she said that the whole point of her communion was not to get visions. It was to unveil a realization of the nature of mind. What we would refer to in the science of mind as this knowing, sensing feeling of wisdom, of the divine nature, the divine spark within each one of us, the knowing of that. And sometimes when we commune on the mountain, we can have those glimpses, those touch points of spirit. And then we wonder when we come back to daily life, well, where did it go? But here's what Adyashanti in his book, The End of Your World, has to say about that. He says, the moment of awakening may or may not result in permanent seeing. The good news is that once a moment of this clear seeing has actually taken place, the aperture of our awareness can never completely close down again. And that's the good news. The good news. It can seem like it, but it never quite does. In the deepest part of yourself, you don't ever forget. Even if you've only glimpsed that for a moment, something within you is changed forever. So that is the heart of why we make that daily communion to the mountaintop to be with Spirit. And what this inner summit brings to us is that it brings to us a place where our aperture has the chance to open, our awareness, where we can remember who we are beneath the noise, and we can return to once but not daily in terms of tending this awareness over time. Eventually Tenzin was forced to leave her cave. She overstayed her visa. Maybe she forgot what year it was. I don't know. I mean, it's hard up there. But she moved to Italy for quite some time, and she befriended a Catholic priest. They were very close, and pretty soon she was faced with a choice again. You can either go back to the cave and commune all the time. She said it was so tempting. Or you can build a nunnery for women less fortunate who haven't had access and the opportunity to study spiritually. So she asked her priest what she should do, and the advice he gave her, he said, "We are all rough pieces of wood. If we are always wrapping ourselves and our life in soft pieces of velvet, we never become smooth. It feels nice, but we don't become smooth. To become smooth," he says, "what we need is sandpaper." And she said that nunnery, she went on to build the nunnery. It serves over 160 nuns every year to this day. And she said that nunnery was my sandpaper. It has polished my soul. And it allowed her to bring the fruits of her awakening to the soil of daily life. So that brings us to our second consideration. How do we face the sandpaper in the world around us? How do we return to faith when we're sinking in fear? How do we return to faith when those battles of anger are raging in the world around us and also within us? How do we get back to that sense of communion with God? And how do we transform the way that we see our challenges? You know, I like to bring a little levity to this question in my classes. You may have seen this. I like to share this cartoon where you can see there's this lovely monk who's sitting at the feet of his master, and his master says, "You just have one final test on your road to spiritual enlightenment." And he's excited. And then you see down below, he's sitting at his family dinner, and grandma's gonna knit him a hat, and his brother's drinking, the baby's screaming, and his sister's yelling at the children, and he has a look of total dismay on his face. Isn't that the case? That the sandpaper of life can pull us away from that communion of that awareness and that inner awareness. You know, I tend to work myself up often in life. This is one of my pathways. I get into overwhelm. And I stir myself up into overwhelm. A couple weeks ago, I stirred myself up into that place, and I texted my mentor, and do you want to know what he texted back? With love, "Let go, Zemirah. Let go and trust. Let go." And you know, when you get that message in the moment, you're like, "This again? Again? That's what I have to do?" How hard it is to let go of our resistance, to let go where we are holding on, to let go in the midst of the sandpapers of life. And the question I have to ask myself in those moments is, am I willing? Am I willing? Am I willing? And sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it takes some time to get to that answer of yes. And that brings us to our second consideration this morning, is that is the ticket to surrender and remember. That is how we get back to faith in the midst of. You know, I've been reading Joel Goldsmith's book, The Foundation of Mysticism, and he's the one that took the Infinite Way teachings across the world, largely in the 1940s. And I was reading in that book, when he first started out crafting and writing about the Infinite Way, and he was getting that divine impulse to teach it, he would often go into meditation, which is what the Infinite Way is all about. It's about going in to carved moments throughout your day of stillness, of pause, in order to allow that divine guidance to percolate through. And you know, he was in his he tells this tale in his book, that he was in his comfy office in Hawaii, and he got this message: you need to go to New York, sit there a few days, and then go on to London. No other information. And so, but he listened. This was in the time of telegrams, not email. Think about it. You know, he went there, and you know what transpired when he began was a circuitous journey through countries of the world, and out of that came book publications, workshops that he didn't even expect. He had no idea what was around the corner, but he listened and he showed up. You know, once he talks about he went to South Africa, he thought there were 20 people coming to his workshop and over 800 showed up. And what he was moving on is that what he received, that divine guidance, doesn't always make a lot of sense at the soil level awareness. He had no idea what the results would be, but he moved on the impulse of faith. So we see that too from Moses. When he goes to the mountain, you know, the mountaintop is enshrouded in clouds. And from the base, he still heard the voice of God, which parted those clouds. And isn't that a bit how life is? The voice of God is enshrouded often. We have to get still, surrender, and remember in order to allow the clouds to part in our awareness, to receive more of what the divine message is. It's in the pausing that awareness can blossom and move forth. And finally, in this rhythm of ascending and descending, ascending the mountain and descending back to soil, we're called to embody trust and then action, move in action. Modern mystic and teacher James Finley considers in his book, The Contemplative Heart, that one way that we bring the mountaintop communion and translate it into daily life is to continue working with those parts of ourself that are in pain, those parts of ourself that are in fear. He says that if our shame-based stance towards ourself is not recognized and healed through compassionate love, our spiritual endeavors might possibly turn themselves into attempts to put as much distance as possible between those places that we feel our shortcomings and our failures and our spiritual life. He says it's to bring it together. We don't want to continually climb the mountain without holding those places of need along the way. He says we continually do our healing work, and he offers a brief visualization in that book where the visualization involves us walking up the mountain, climbing up the mountain, and then we get halfway there and we hear the cry of a child. And he says we stop, and if we stop, even in our approach on the mountain, to simply hold, simply be with, those parts of ourself are like those crying children within us. He says, unless we go back to that valley from time to time to be with those hurt places, maybe even saying nothing, but just being there, that sitting there itself in the stillness has the opportunity to bring about all of it together into holy experience. That's where the climb and the mountaintop and the soil meet together. He says we can't move forward by leaving any parts of ourselves behind. We can only move forward in our willingness to go back and to wait forever if need be, until each aspect of ourselves finally awakens to and accepts the divinity found within the perceived weaknesses, the perceived vulnerabilities, the perceived frailties within. You know, I was speaking with a beloved colleague in Minnesota this week. She reached out. She wanted, and when I asked her, you know, she reached out in the midst of the turmoil and the violence and the unrest that's happening in her city right now. And when I asked her, what is something that we can do here in our community to support? You know what she said? She said, well, you can begin right where you are by holding each other, by listening deeply, even when there are differences, by listening to understand. And I think that's what we're called in our healing and community this year here at Mile High Church, which we're bringing forth. That's what we're called to do, is to be with each other in those frailties, in those parts that want to be held, in those perceived weaknesses, but to bring compassion to those places. And she closed our call. She said, you know, throughout this time, that quote from Ram Dass has been carrying me through. She says, you know, we all are absolutely walking each other home. All of us together. And so as we get ready for prayer today, I've asked Laura to sing a verse from Diana Ross. You know, if you were watching the ball fall in the beginning of the year, you might have saw her sing, "Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wild enough to keep me away from you." And the meaning that I think that that song holds is that there is nothing that can keep us from communion with Spirit. That as we go into that deeper experience of the divine, we touch that place inside. When we summit, when we surrender, and when we bring back what we felt to the soil of our daily lives.
Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, keep me from getting to you. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you. Oh, keep me from getting to you.
And so in this moment, I invite the practitioners in the room to stand with me as we move into this communion of prayer. We open our hearts to feel that love all around us. To know that as we summit to feel Spirit right here in this moment, we touch those places inside that want to feel the love, the compassion, that are ready to be released, to be let go, to be absorbed into that infinite one. The very infinite nature of the divine is the very truth of who we are. And so right now we open the aperture of our awareness to feel and to know that is the truth of who we are. That very illumination of awareness is the divine energy, is the divine power, is the healing vibration that we carry with us into our own daily life. It is the vibration that we share in our community and our families around us. And we bring that awareness of love to all those places that feel vulnerable, perhaps fragile, perhaps fearful, and we allow them to be held in the arms of Spirit. I know that all of us here in this communion with the infinite allow this river of love to flow out today, out into the world, as a healing balm, as a healing light. There is only love. So we allow it to be, and so it is.
There is only love. There is only love. Oh, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, thank you. Well, now we move into our time of offering, and I just want to celebrate another wonderful, wonderful example of your generosity. You know, through your giving here at Mile High Church, you know, in the month of January, we gave away 130 copies of this thing called You, and we also sold another 72. So it's through all of your generous hearts and your generous giving that we're able to circulate the power of these teachings and the power of education and the power of this resonance in our community and circulate it both with each other and out in the world. So thank you for your generous hearts. And I invite us all right now to activate that law of circulation together as we recite our offering affirmation together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Nothing you can do that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. All you need is love.
All together now.
All you need is love.
Everybody.
All you need is love, love. Love is all you need.
We appreciate the blast from the past.
Yeah.
Thank you. And isn't this band we have the most spectacular? Thank you. I appreciate Randy sharing his vocal gifts. And then we have our special guest here, Dr. Barry Ebert. And thank you, Laura. What a great morning, right? Yes. I am Jackie, and I am the minister who is responsible for the Welcome Center. So if you are new today or within the last few weeks and you've been a little bashful about coming to the Welcome Center, please come by. I'll be there to greet you. And you still get a free book. It's not this thing called You, but you will get a free book. You'll get some coupons for discounts. So I'd love to meet you in our Welcome Center.
Thank you. You got something else for us too this morning, Jackie.
I am also responsible for outreach. So we really hope that you, and I know you will step up, as you always have for our paper and hygiene products. This will go to the Action Center, and they have had a tremendous need for all kinds of things from our community. So please, paper products, toilet paper, diapers and wipes, and then I do want to mention the diapers. Bobby did a great job of mentioning everything, but 4, 5, 6, not the little ones, because they don't have as much request for that. So please bring them here to our lobby, and we're going to create some kind of structure.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. And also remember that our foundation is out in the lobby today, and they are looking forward to meeting and talking with all of you. So please visit their table out there and come see us for Seder on Friday night. So now if you'll rise and stand with me as we join together for the benediction. May you carry the energy, the awareness, and the open aperture of your divine self and what you commune on the sacred mountain out into the soil of your daily life. Go in peace, go in love, and know that love is all